so here we go again, back with the Nasmas OSR old school rotaries. And check this out, so we're gonna go ahead and try to get this refurbished. You can see there's a lot of grime, dirt on there on top. This is a little faded. We're gonna go ahead and redo the lettering. So you can see it's there's some rust on there, so we're gonna go ahead and try to knock that off, polish up the glass right here. And well, y'all remember this from the other video, this got chromed. So yeah, let's go ahead and get right into it. So first things first, we're gonna go ahead and test the amperage gauge, fuel gauge. This is the oil pressure warning light, and we're gonna go ahead and check the water temperature. And obviously you're gonna need a 12-volt battery and a few alligator clips, and that's all there's pretty much to it. All right, so we got our 12-volt battery. Again, we have the positive hooked up to the fuse, and we got our negative. So we're gonna go ahead and test the water temperature gauge first. So basically this is your negative and positive back here. So you want to just connect the negative just to the bolt right on the thread, and I'm gonna go ahead and hook it up to the other bolt, being real careful. And you can see the gauge just go right up, and that's what we're looking for. We just want to see it move up and then just see it go back down on its own. Obviously there's no temperature gauge or sensor hooked up to the engine, which will give us the proper reading, but since there's like hot current going in there, it's obviously gonna jump way up here. So but that's all we're looking for, making sure that it's moving, nothing has snapped back there, and that's all we want to see, just movement. So all right, so the fuel gauge is pretty much the same. You got your positive and your negative here. Like I said, just try to be real careful, not shock yourself. And there we go. And so the fuel gauge should start moving now, and there it goes. And that's pretty much all we want to see. We want to make sure that it's functional, there's nothing broken in there, that the needle's moving the way it should. So that's all we're looking for. So when we go ahead and hook up the this meter gauge to the car, if it's not working, we know it's going to be from the sending unit or for some other area other than a dash, and we'll have to bring the dash down and break it down again. So all right, so next is the amperage, and can't really do a true bench test on the amperage, and the reason is because you see back here there's no positive or negative testing. Even though it shows positive and negative, this is more like a signal type of negative wire. It's not really a negative. So if you were to hook up a positive and a negative to a 12-volt battery, this sucker would just pop. It would definitely pop. So there's no true way to test it. So what this does, it just pretty much measures the amperage in your whole wiring system. And the only way I could really go about it and see if it's really in a way or in a sense working and not broken is by just testing the continuity. So you guys can see what I'm talking about. I got my multimeter here. The only way you could really test it is by checking the continuity, and if the continuity is good, it'll give you a 0 reading. So it's good on there, so it's giving us 0. So if there were any numbers popping up, that would mean that there's something broken inside. So so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I have this this wire here, and basically what you're looking for is just to make sure there's nothing snapped or broken in there. Let's just say something inside there did snap. I'm gonna give you an example here. The continuity, see the numbers they're just popping all over the place. So it's pretty much telling us that, hey, you know what, there's something damaged inside. There's no point A to point B that is telling us that there's direct current or anything like that. So if I were to put this back together here, it should give us, there we go, it's giving us 0 again. If I were to take it off, it's gonna go back and it's just gonna start giving us different numbers, and it's just telling us that, you know what, there's something that's broken or snapped in there. So all right, so last but not least, the oil pressure light, the little red lens. So when I took it apart, the little red lens just came off. So we got to find a way to put it back in there. So after further investigation, it looks like I'm gonna have to take all this apart and just go ahead and try to refurbish it, just clean it up, and, you know, make it look as good as new. So all we're looking for is just to see that the light is working properly. So there's a little light bulb right here, and if you look at these pins, you want to hook up your positive right here, because I mean, it's pretty obvious. It's pointing, the positive here is pointing towards, you know, the light bulb, and obviously the whole housing, you got to ground the whole housing, so that's the ground. So, and the light should turn on, and it's not turning on, and let me tell you why. Because if you turn back here and you take the light bulb off, you see this ring here, it's corroded, it's dirty, so we got to clean that up. Just maybe lightly sand it down, that way I could show that I don't know what this is, bronze or copper, so it could show again. But if we were to test just a light bulb, it turns on. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clean this up and do the test again and make sure that, you know, there is current running through here. There we go. Now it's working good. As you can see, the needles are pretty worn out. You see it's got that nice neon orange on top, but as you go down, it's got that yellowish. So just gonna go ahead and take it apart and clean it up. Alright, so check this out. Yeah, there's some mice feces here. They were definitely having a party here on top of this. So I know what this is now. This is like rat or mice poop and mice pee, and it's just a bunch of nasty stuff up here. So I was kind of wondering how moisture or water got on here. But yeah, as you can see, this is like rat poop and stuff. So you can see that there, and that kind of explains how like that moisture kind of ran down in through the sides in on here. And I was just wondering how moisture got here and corroded this. But yeah, that's how it is with these older cars, that, you know, these barn finds that have been sitting out on the fields. Definitely you get a lot of this corrosion and all this stuff. So that's one of the main reasons why the light bulb wasn't working properly. So this was actually sitting here. So all this right here is supposed to show that it's supposed to look like this. It's supposed to have that nice copper and bronze color to it. All this right here, right up in here, all around here. So we're gonna go ahead and clean this up. I'm gonna try to clean it up, polish it. But yeah, you can see right here where all that rat pee and well, you know, all that nasty stuff was on here. So all right, here we go again. Make sure you wear gloves when you're using this Zapp's Super Purple. My hands started itching like crazy, man. So yeah, definitely wear some gloves. Don't be old school like me. I really don't like wearing gloves, and I guess that's like an old school thing. We don't like wearing gloves, but in this case you gotta wear it, because man, that stuff will start eating up your skin and your hands. So yeah, just make sure you wear gloves. Alright, so we got it right here nice and clean. This is going to be covered anyway, but I did notice that there is some chipping in here. So I got some hobby lobby paint here. and this is some enamel, so this stuff's pretty durable. I'm just gonna go ahead and touch it up and just call it a day. But it's already sanitized, it's clean. Yeah, those mice, they were having a party on here, man. So no more partying in that car. So unless it's gonna be me. All right, so next we're gonna move to this circuit board. Just test a little corner and make sure that none of this, I don't know what it is, enamel or clear paint. I'm not too familiar with these circuit boards, but I did test on the corner and nothing seemed to come off or anything get dull. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe it down with some alcohol just to get rid of that, you know, that mice feces. As you guys can see, there's like a bunch of that stuff right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and just wipe it down and just disinfect it pretty much and start working on the copper side of it. That way we won't have any issues with any of our lights or lighting or circuit or anything. So here we go. All right, so we got this all clean and sanitized. So this one here, we're gonna go ahead and let it dry for a couple days just to make sure this dries up good. But we're gonna go ahead and move on to the face cover here. As you can see, the face plate here, yeah, that's from that mice pee or feces or whatever, or both. It ate through the paint, the rings too. So I'm gonna have to sanitize this, clean it up, sand it down, and redo the whole lettering again. So the next, we're gonna jump on this one. All right. All right, so I'll give a light sanding with 240. That way the paint could stick to there, and I didn't want to take too much off the letters because I'm gonna use those as a guide, even though I did measure the distance and all that stuff. But I just want to go ahead and leave the letters on there, so it might show, so it could show a little bit when I do put the other decals on there. All right, so while this dries up, we're gonna go ahead and jump onto these and the gauges right here, and get these painted with that neon orange on there. So I'm just gonna leave this out in the sun. I won't come back to it until a couple days later, and then we'll do the lettering. All right. All right, so these are pretty much done. It looks nice and it's got that bright orange. It's just the right proper color for that. And so I just want to show you guys this right quick. Even before I decided to take apart this gauge right here, the little lens on here, it's a plastic lens that goes on the back. This fell out, so we're gonna have to go ahead and put that back on. But first I need to clean this up, scrape off all that excess glue that was there before, and just lightly clean it with some acetone, and just glue this back on with I got some of this stuff right here, some 3M plastic Emblem and adhesive glue. And it says on here that it's obviously for emblems. For emblems, it's water resistant, heat resistant, and fuel resistant. So give this a couple days to dry up. I just finished it up with the 240 scruff pad. Just give it a little quick light sanding with the scruff pad. That way the decals right here could stick to it. So my wife, she's pretty awesome, man. So my wife, she made me these little decals right here. It's kind of hard to see, but she's really crafty when it comes to making like decal stickers and stuff like that. So she went ahead and made me these decals. She was able to find the right font, the right size with everything. It's just identical to what was on here. So we're gonna go ahead and put these on. First, I'm gonna use some tape as a guide. That way it'll be nice and straight. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. All right, so I got all my points set where the decals are gonna go. I did give it another quick scrub with the scrub pad right here. Just decided to give it a little more sanding on these 4 spots where the decals are gonna go, so that way they'll stick on there real good. So here we go. And there it is. Yeah, it's a lot more difficult than what it looks, but there's still some adhesion left from the transfer paper on the letters. And so this is what pretty much what my wife does. She just grabs another clear transfer rub-on paper, and she just carefully taps it on, and this is on there real good. It's already stuck on there good, but you want to make sure there's no adhesion, because then we're gonna go ahead and clear coat it. So my wife did say that it's UV. I guess it could withstand UV, it could withstand heat, it could withstand moisture. It's waterproof, so this is definitely gonna be on here for a very long time. It's gonna last a very long time. So. Alright, so we got everything set up and ready to assemble. Everything's nice and clean and dry and nicely painted. And we also want to make sure there's no dust on them before we assemble it. So I went ahead and kind of jumped the gun and put the glass on here. The glass does have a flat side and a bevel side. Just remember the flat side, or this edge right here that's flat, goes towards the back of the gauge, and the bevel side goes towards the front. So we got that set up. The glasses are nice and clean. We got everything nice and clean. So we're gonna first go ahead and assemble this housing right here. So here we go. So the housing has a little cutout right here, so we're gonna put this on first. And this is pretty much like a little dome for the light, I guess shine brighter or something. But it does have this little like guide right here on the side, and that's obviously gonna go on here, so it's gonna sit like this, and you can see it a lot better on this side. So so it's pretty much lined up, so it's gonna sit this way. So you want to go ahead and put this one on first, and then we'll just put the backing, which is this right here, and we'll just lay this on top. And it's got 2 screws, 1 and 2, and they're 2 flatheads. Alright, so we got our 2 screws in on here. Now we're gonna go ahead and turn this around and put it to the side, and we're gonna get our oil pressure and water temperature gauge. And there's these 2 washers here, plastic washers. Flat side goes down, bevel side goes up. There's 2 of them. Flat side goes down, bevel side goes up. And we're gonna go ahead and just kind of like this, all this here needs to sit behind the light housing, so you want to just kind of like slide it, and that's why you want to do this one first, because you got to slide it behind it. And next you want to get your number 7, and then you just want to hand tighten this. So once it stops spinning, you might want to give it like an 1/8 of a turn. You don't want it too tight because these things, they can break. So that's why it's got a lock washer on here. So once it's completely flat, just give it a little turn and hand tighten this. Alright, so next we're going to do our amperage and fuel gauge. And this one has 2 of those plastic washers. So flat side goes down, bevel side up. Flat side goes down, bevel side up. And the thinner ones, so those are the thick ones, the thinner ones are going to go on the longer screws. Flat side down, bevel side up. Alright, so next you want to just grab the face and then just pretty much lay it on top, nice and even. And you want to grab your housing, and this one doesn't really have a side up or down, but I did put a mark down here, so you can put it either way. It'll work either way. So here we go. Alright, and there it is. It's all assembled, it's done. Now the final finishing touches are going to be the light bulbs. I got a soft light, original OG old school light bulb that came out of the actual gauges, and I have a LED light bulb. So let's go ahead and put them on and see what the difference is. Here we go. Yep, and that's it. Didn't need much. So we're gonna go ahead and put the 2 screws. There's one here and one down here.